Recruiter here to review your resumes. And the resume we have up first is awful. Truly, truly awful. So this is a software engineer resume. And this person says they are a self-taught dev with over 5 years of experience. They've built countless tools that other engineers use. However, it's harder for you to express that since none of the things I have built can be explained in simpler terms due to their nature. I disagree with that. I think you can explain almost anything in a simple manner, and being able to do that is a sign of is a skill that you need to learn in the corporate world. One of the most important skills, not just for software engineers, which, speaking of, I review more than software engineers. I review every type of resume, but the tech market is terrible right now, so most of the resumes sent to me are tech, specifically full stack software engineers and data analysts. But for anybody, one of the biggest skills you can have is being able to explain complex topics in a simple manner. That alone will get you through a lot of stuff in your career. For example, if an engineer in the company wanted to build a Sheets-like interface, or like Excel, blah, 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 or for example, they wanted to build a fast global sync, they'd use my foundational sync engine to build it, but sync engine or data grid doesn't make sense to anybody who isn't deep into the stuff. Exactly, and that's why it's terrible to put on your resume. Additionally, I've worked on some very niche things that many people can do, but it's still harder to convey to recruiters, even though what they're looking for is far simpler. Yes, exactly. I expect this resume to be filled with hot dogs, although I'm honestly expecting this to be one of the worst resumes I've reviewed on this channel. Not the worst, but probably up there. This might be in the top 10. So, what do recruiters want, and hiring managers, I don't give advice that's only for recruiters because that would be terrible advice, want in a resume? Well, first off, you have to pick a stack. Software engineers need to pick a stack. If you do not pick a stack, you are probably not going to get a job. Are there stack agnostic roles? Yeah. Are you going to find them? No, I don't think you will. They're incredibly rare, and usually even when they say they're stack agnostic, they still want you to pick a stack. So the most common stack, the stacks are backend Python, backend Java, backend C#.NET, full stack, and front end. But for the sake of this, I will pick full stack. Because that's just the most common one, is full stack software developer. So what do we need for a full stack software engineer? We need degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, RESTful APIs, SQL, Cloud, any of them, backend, Python, C#.NET, Java, React, React.js, Angular, Node.js, Vue.js, DevOps, CI/CD, Agile, and Git, plus extra credit for large scale AI tools and cross-functional. Are you not a full stack engineer? Are you perchance maybe a backend Python or front end developer? Cool, doesn't matter. Hiring is stack based, and you need to pick a stack because this is why your resume is having issues. So 20 seconds on the clock, which before I do that, I want to let everybody know that when people follow my method, they end up getting 1 interview per 7 applications. But if your resume is getting anything under 1 interview per 50 applications, it's good. Anything more than 50 applications to 1 interview, it's bad. That's how you can tell if your resume is good or garbage. And my format and template and this stuff gets people a 1 in 7. So recruiters only have 20 seconds to find what we need. So can I find this in 20 seconds? No, I don't think so, since this person is getting, well, very, very little interviews. So 20 seconds on the clock and go. Okay, this doesn't count. This doesn't count. This is irrelevant. AI SaaS somewhere. Okay, doesn't count. Multi-tenant matrix. Okay, AWS, but that's still not in the right format. All right, irrelevant. Built a, where did you work? Okay. Document for irrelevant, irrelevant, and time. So this would get yeeted and deleted. First off, what you need to do is fix your formatting. This is a nightmare. Remember, recruiters, this is a recruiter-specific one, only have 20 seconds to find what we need. And if we cannot find it in 20 seconds, we move on. That is all the time we have. The recruiter takes more than 20 seconds is the recruiter that gets fired for not doing their job right. So please use this format. This is in the link below. This is my format, hence my own name. And this is how you do it, because this is easy to read. Does it look ugly? Yeah, it does, but that's a feature. It's not a bug. The point is it's very basic and boring so that people can read further down. Because I had to skip a lot to get down there. So, first things first, we need to delete all of this stuff because none of this matters. But Lee, you said you were looking for this stuff, and there was some of the stuff you found, like fast APIs and AWS and MongoDB. Well, the problem is I am looking for qualifications, not keywords. If my job was to keyword hunt, it would be a lot easier, but it's not. So, what is a keyword? A keyword is something that the hiring team needs. So, in this case, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, RESTful API. All of these are keywords. Now, the problem is I am not keyword hunting, but qualification hunting. And a qualification is a keyword plus how you used it, plus where you used it, plus the non-technical reason that you used it. If you cannot give me those 4 things, it does not count in your resume, not counting your degree or years of experience. So, does this person have AWS, PostgreSQL, and Next.js here? Yeah, but it doesn't matter because I am not keyword hunting, I am qualification hunting. They have to be under a job or a project or an internship. So these do not count, and your first part of your resume might as well be blank. So then we go down to here. Cool. 2023. So this is not the worst bullet point, but it's not good because it actually doesn't have... Actually, no. Let a team engineer... This is a bad bullet point. It has nothing I need. This is a hot dog. This is a hot dog. All of this is hot dogs. Hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog. Everything in red is a hot dog. Now, what is a hot dog, right? I've explained what a qualification is and why we are not keyword hunting. What is a hot dog? I want you to imagine that you are hungry and you go to a restaurant and you say, I want a cheeseburger, please. And they say, that's all you want? No fries, no nothing? You say, nope, just a cheeseburger. So they go back to the kitchen, they come back, and what they give you is a hot dog with cheese. And they say, here is your hot dog with cheese. And you say, I wanted a cheeseburger, not a hot dog with cheese. I think there's been a mistake. And they go, no, it's not. What you wanted was this because a hot dog has meat like a hamburger. A hot dog has cheese like a hamburger can or a hot dog can. And a hot dog has buns just like a cheeseburger. So this has buns, it has meat, and it has cheese. And what you wanted had buns, meat, and cheese. So thus, when you said cheeseburger, what you really meant was hot dog. And you would walk away without paying. And that is the exact same problem this resume has right now. Is led a team of engineers through critical engineering regarding system design and architecture of the platform. Cool. Hot dog. System design and architecture could technically be a keyword depending on what they're looking for. The problem is you don't really tell me the non-technical reasons or how you did it. So this could be considered a keyword, but again, the rest of this is hot dog. So hot dog, boop, doesn't count. Built a multi-tenant, blah, 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 hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog. Oh, look, AWS, but you did not put it in qualification format. You only put it in a keyword. So hot dog, 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 hot dog. Then down here, document hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog. Then we go down here, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dogs. So many hot dogs. And then we go down here, more hot dogs. And at no point will anybody scroll to the bottom of the second page before giving you an interview. Now, at the interview, they may go further than the second page, so that's why you may want a longer resume. But this is nothing. You submitted almost an entirely blank page. The only thing I know here is that you have AWS, and you need 75% of these in qualification format to move forward. So when you say specifically, right, and these are your words, is it is like you cannot explain those in non-technical ones. I disagree. You can. I have helped plenty of engineers, some people that were new grads, some people that were self-taught, all explain these technical concepts in non-technical ways. And that is what you need to do. You know what you can say for this, right? Like, hey, I don't even know what product this is. You didn't even tell me at all through this. Is I'm just going to make something up, and this is how it should sound, right? Created a web page using TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, SQL in an AWS environment for our SaaS financial software that allowed customers easy access to our webpage without lagging. Boom, done. That contains almost everything I need. It tells me the what, the how, the where, and the non-technical reason. And that is what you need to do. The point is, you are too zoomed in on the technical stuff, and technical stuff doesn't get people jobs. There is a huge myth amongst engineers that if you just grind, if you're just a better engineer, you can get a job. And no, there is a minimum level of required knowledge, but like, that's not how it works. Non-technical stuff and explaining the technical stuff in a non-technical manner, that gets you jobs. So that is all I can do for this one, but this needs to be completely and utterly deleted and redone. So delete all of this, put it into this format, and then you can actually have a resume that gets you interviews. So before we go to the next resume, I just want to thank my members on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching this and for being members. They get access to videos a little bit early, and if you want to be a member, you can join in the link below. But just again, thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate it. And if anybody needs more help, they can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter and right here on YouTube. That is where I review these, and let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a full stack software engineer. So we already know what we need for full stack, so I don't need to explain that again. This person said, I got laid off and struggled to get interviews or find jobs. I think LinkedIn is trash, and I want remote jobs because my local jobs pay poorly. So I will say, if you're applying to remote jobs, you're gonna lower your ratio, which is not the worst, but like I said, I typically get people a 1 in 7. If you're applying for fully remote roles, it's a 1 in 25. And that's with a really, really good resume. It also, if you're applying for remote roles, you really want to have at least like 5 years experience. If you're trying to apply for remote roles with less than 5, it's probably going to hurt your ratio even more. Remote roles are that competitive. So this person does say they get 1 in 100. So if they're going for remote roles, that would explain a little bit more. So let's see if we can't get that down. So 20 seconds is on the clock. And let's see what I can find and go. Okay, degree, good. I don't know if you can do that. Built and owned an AI-powered job matching platform using TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML. Good. Services, digitize. See, I don't know if that's still a little too technical. Created new revenue streams. Okay. Architected a multi-tenant SaaS portal with flexible monthly players. Merging. Okay, that's entirely a hot dog. Built-in automated candidate filtering and time. So you used my formatting, which was good, right? Which is why I was able to get some far down, although I talked a little bit too much to y'all. Probably should have been able to get here if I wasn't distracted by this. But if you've already graduated more than a couple of years ago, you don't need this, right? You just tell me status graduated, and just put B and T U, right? I don't need to know the full thing. This you do need to spell out completely, but I don't need to know the university name beyond just its acronym. So put its acronym and then let me know that you graduated, because I don't know when you graduated or if you graduated. You probably have. Then we go down to here and your bullet points are wordy. Built, like why own doesn't matter, right? Like who cares, right? Just say built. Right? Because if you're doing leading product from 0 to 1, that's different, but that doesn't imply 0 to 1. That just says that you owned it. So built an AI-powered job matching platform. Okay, fine. Using TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, React, Next.js, serving, this is solid, 100K monthly active users, but this part isn't. That's not a really good technical reason. I want to know, like, monthly active users to assist with their job search or something, right? I need a little bit more there. And then if you notice, this is already going to be smaller. And then here, architected a multi-tenant SaaS admin portal with flexible monthly, yearly, blah, 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 blah. This is entirely a hot dog. Could architected be something? Yeah, but I need more than just that. So this is entirely a hot dog and should be deleted. Then built an automated candidate filtering that excluded applicants below a 10% keyword match threshold. Did this really have 100K? Bro, this is part of the problem. You're part of the problem. This is why people are struggling, is they're using this stuff like this. This is bad. That's not how you should work, and that's also illegal. Your company could get sued for this if they automatically excluded applicants between a certain threshold by that. That could go against hiring laws. Triggered real-time email notifications were detected. Again, also, even without that, nothing in here means anything that I care about. Mentored a junior front-end developer. Okay, fine. By independently leading pair programming sessions. But again, the rest of that is, there's nothing there. So the only thing I see is TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, React, and Next.js. Is that good? Yes. Is that 75% of this? No. And I need 75% of this. Where is the SQL? I don't know. Where's the cloud? I don't know. Where's the backend? I don't know. Where's the, let's see, what was this? Where's the Angular, the Vue, the DevOps, the CI/CD, the Agile, the Git? I don't know. I didn't find it. And because you don't have it in any of these, they're probably going to move past it. So you have one almost very good sentence, which is probably why you're getting some interviews here. But the rest of this is just filled with hot dogs. Developed a multi-vendor, okay, SaaS, RESTful API using TypeScript, Node.js. Don't care about Express. Next.js. I don't know if I really care about Next.js. Maybe I do, but probably not. Using layered architecture, schema, and again, this part is fine, but then you don't tell me the non-technical reason. Looks like a little smiley face guy. But it's not. He should be sad, because you don't tell me the technical reasons. There should be a non-technical reason here. Maintain 100% job success scores. I mean, again, I don't really know if this counts as much. And then they'll probably not go past that, because, like, Upwork is not looked upon highly. If anything, I would probably just delete this and go to the next one, unless you don't have AWS. But yeah, like, my big problem here is you've got one strong sentence, and then the rest of it is just nothing. Like, maybe we could save this, but again, I need more. I think I only see about 40%. And that's all I can move. I need 75% to move you forward. So I need more. Write more of them like that first sentence, right? Like, that's solid. I need more. Although I still need to know the non-technical, like, what else about the website, right? In fact, you could probably switch this up, is built a website using TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, React, serving 100 plus users, where they used AI to match platforms. Although, if you're rejecting people without somebody looking at them, that could get you sued. There is a myth that everybody is doing that, and it's a very, very, very small minority of companies, and it could be illegal. So don't do it. Almost every resume is still reviewed by hand, despite a couple of these things coming up. So, next resume. This is a resume of a staff accountant. This is like their fourth time, I think. They just started with this new resume, so they don't have their ratio, but they are struggling to get interviews. So, what do we need for a staff accountant? We need degree. CPA is very nice if they have it. Microsoft Office, Excel, Outlook, etc. Manage multiple active projects and deadlines. Gap, attention to detail, good communication, and nice to have is general ledger systems such as Oracle Fusion. So 20 seconds is on the clock. Let's see if I can find it. And go. Okay, CPA, good. Okay, degree, good. This is a little off. Supervised and trained, 1 to 3. Staff, you can just say that. Across multiple audit engagements using Microsoft Outlook to coordinate with management teams, manage deadlines, and ensure audits complete officially on time. Okay, use Excel, ERP systems equipped for gap, finding variances and discrepancies, and time. It's still wordy. Again, this person has a 5-year gap, and there's a bit of a... People don't fully understand gaps. I will say, if your gap is less than 2 years, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal at all. But if your gap is over 2 years, it is a problem. And there is a limit. Like, this person is getting some interviews, and I think they are getting maybe slightly more with my format. We'll see. But it's still too early. Excuse me. But there's just a limit to you're not going to get a 1 in 7, right? Like, I'm going to be frank with you. You will never get a 1 in 7 with a 5-year gap. You may get a 1 in 50 to a 1 in 65, but I don't think you're ever going to get a 1 in 7. It's just probably not going to happen. So I would like us to shrink some of these. So I don't need to see supervised. I'd rather you just say, like, managed, right? Pick either supervised or trained, right? And then don't say 1 to 3. Just say 3. That's fine. That doesn't matter. Like, if it's 1 to 3, it's 3. That's fine. You can just tell them in the interview that it was between 1 and 3, and it was multiple times. So 3. And don't say staff. What was their job? Accountants. Supervised and trained 3 accountants, right? And then we can put using Microsoft Office, Outlook, Teams to coordinate with management and internal teams. See, this doesn't even make sense. Hold on, what? A multiple audit engagements and using. Okay, these are. I want you to redo some of these, right? Supervise and train 3 staff in GAAP, generalized acceptable accounting principles, GAAP, right? That's what I want you. I want you to show that you trained him in GAAP and Excel and Outlook, right? That's what I need. And then coordinate with management and internal teams. I don't really care about that, right? Like, that's not good communication. I need something better than that, than just Outlook and Teams for communication. Manage deadlines is great. I don't want to see you manage deadlines. I want to see you meet deadlines. That is the important, is you met deadlines. Okay? And that also doesn't show me that you had multiple ones. Guys were completed efficiently and on time. Okay, it's still too wordy. These are some weird bullet points. Used Excel, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, good, to analyze journal entries and general ledger data from ERP systems in support of GAAP-compliant financial statements, identifying variances, discrepancies. This is fine. I'd rather you have this. Why is this not your first bullet point? This is everything I want with this. I want this to be your first bullet point. This probably doesn't matter. You can combine these, right? You should combine these. And then down here, this should be up top. Again, why are you it's like you're afraid to put Excel. I don't understand this, because it's like the second or third time I've done it, and every single time you seem to put Excel at the bottom. You try to, like, bury your actual things that you've done that we care about. And I'm a little confused as to why. Like, you keep trying to put SOC up and SOX up, and yeah, maybe 1 or 2 jobs want it, but probably the vast majority don't. So I need you to switch these around. This should be your first bullet point up here. This third one needs to be your first one down there. And then I need you to shrink these because they're still too big. Like, why do I, like, supervised and trained 3 staff across multiple audit engagements is fine, but I need to know why is it important that you train them? Why is it important that you did that? I don't know. What did you do with those people? I don't know. Are you applying to a management role? Because if you're not applying to a role that's management, then don't even include that. I do see that you did stuff that was on time, but I don't see that you manage multiple projects. So these bullet points are slightly off is my problem. And again, with a 5-year gap, we need this to be perfect. So I think that's all I can do for this one now. Is I'm going to help them a little bit more off of this video. That's the best I can do because these bullet points are a little off. So this may take a bit. So next, resume. This is a resume of an AI engineer. So what do we need for an AI engineer? We need AI, LLM, NLP. Basically, you're going to have to pick one of those. Python, TensorFlow, PyTorch, Cloud, NumPy, R, MATLAB, SDLC, CI/CD, DevOps. And then one of these, and it's preceding whatever keyword. So RAG, ML, LangChain, Skibbity, Learn, Pandas, Agentic. And for Agentic, particularly multi-agent systems. So LangGraph, ADK, I believe it was, and N8N, I think, would be good ones. But there's so many of them, I cannot list them all. And then I need to see that you can explain complex topics to non-technical stuff. So this person, 200 plus applications, got no interviews, will start again in June after graduating. Yeah, this is about the time you should still be, because, like, yeah. All right, so 20 seconds on the clock. Let's see what I can find. Probably not enough, because it's not a good resume if it's over 150 applications to an interview. So 20 seconds to go. Brain stopped working. I am getting tired. And go. Okay, this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Develop the fine-tune. Okay, good. Pipeline using hot dog, rag, good. Using this one side, hot dog, time. Yeah, this is why this doesn't fly. It has technical stuff. I know that sounds insane, but when you're writing your resume, again, the keywords can be technical, but the reason you use those keywords can never be technical. I'm trying to go through, like, my knowledge of any job that would be good that has technical why you did it, and I don't think any of them is. You need to make the assumption that somebody has no idea what you do. It could be the hiring manager, it could be the recruiter, it could just be because the time. You need to make that assumption. And is this person following my format? No. Something is, I think, a little off in the formatting, but it's not that big as deal as the context. And so let me go line by line to explain this. First off, you already got a bachelor's in computers. You're getting a master's in computer science. I don't need to see your bachelor's, right? You got a master's. Who cares that you got a bachelor's? You already did. You did the more advanced stuff. Certs. I don't think I've ever seen a single certification make a difference in a software engineer. If you're going for cybersecurity, yes, but this doesn't count. So this can be safely deleted. Third, again, this probably needs to go to my format, right? You really want to do that to this certain format. So then this one you can just delete because there's no certs that matter for this. You can just put education. Cool. Already saved some space. Then we go down to here. Developed and fine-tuned large language models. Okay, that's what I want. Using, I don't care. This is not one of the stuff that I'd care about. This is too technical. No one's going to know that. They may not even know N8N. They may not even know SDK. You think they're going to know JAX TPU v4? No. And the reason you did it is technical. Nobody wants to know your technical reasons. Your technical reasons do not count. You cannot make these the technical whys. The why you did it cannot be technical. Does not matter your industry. This, there's nothing here. Transform the fine-tuning applied Gemini Flash via LoRa adapters, achieving a 12-point improvement on internal reasoning benchmark with a 60% less compute. Cool. Doesn't matter. None of that is relevant. As a hot dog. Retrieval augmented generation RAG. Okay. Good. Integrating into an enterprise knowledge base. All right. Tool using Vertex AI. Could be something, right? Vertex AI. Vertex search, probably not. LangChain, yes, I would want. And then that's it. Enabling semantic retrieval across nobody cares. You cannot. You've already failed at the last point. Because if you notice, I say explain stuff to non-technical people. You know what you're doing right now? You're proving to me that you are unable to explain technical concepts to non-technical people. And that is part of the job description for a majority of these AI engineers. Because you know what you're going to be doing as an AI engineer? In college, you think you're going to be changing the world. You know what you're actually going to be doing? You're going to be speaking to Bob, who holds the money for your job. And Bob is like, did you make the AI that tells if something is an apple yet? And if you say, oh, I developed and fine-tuned large language model interface pipelines using JAX and TPU v4 pods to reduce the latency by 34% across production serving endpoints, they will say, is it going to be ready by Friday? And did you make the AI good enough that it can tell an apple from a non-apple? And you say, no, I transformed fine-tuned Geminis. He's like, I don't know what that means and I don't care, you're fired. That's who you're dealing with. It's not just the recruiter. I'm telling you, it may be your manager. It may be your boss's boss. And you need to learn how to speak to them. And right now you are telling me that you are unable to speak to somebody that is non-technical. And if you are unable to speak to somebody that is non-technical, you may lose the company clients, which means you do not have a job. So they need to know that you as an AI engineer who is the subject matter expert of this part of the company can talk to people that don't know what you're talking about. And based on these bullet points, you have proven that you have not. So get rid of all of these 20% and these 30% and tell me the point of doing this. Because I don't know. You know what I know is you did a large language model. Why? Ooh, I don't know. You didn't tell me. You think Bob, the person that can't open an email, is going to care that you reduce latency or cut model training iteration? No, they're not going to care at all. They just want to know what you did, and you have failed to show me what you did. Also, you don't have enough of these. But the big part is your whys are bad. So go back to the drawing board and make these qualifications so that somebody that has no idea what tech is, who may not have graduated high school, could understand this, because that is part of your job. And you are proving that you are unable to do it through the resume already, which is actually rarely something you see through a resume. So next, resume. This is a resume of a data engineer. So what do we need in a data engineer? We need Python, ETL or ELT, SQL, cloud, and it's, I don't know what you call these, like libraries, whatever you call them, but like the AWS and S3 or Lambdas. So whatever the equivalent of that would be for Azure and GCP as well, that is what we need. So I do need the cloud and then those, whatever they are. I really don't know what they're called. Data X, so this would be just data and models, data lakes, data. So the ability to manage and communicate data plans to a non-technical person, meet multiple deadlines, that is critical. Big data, so Kafka, Spark, Hadoop, Git. The industry matters, what industry you're going in. I can't be in every industry, but like SDLC or SaaS or healthcare or... There are more than that, but my brain is not working. This is like almost 4 hours of streaming. My mind is tired. And then rare, but you should have some of these, but not necessarily all of these, is Tableau, Power BI, AI or ML, BigQuery, Snow, CI/CD, and I don't know why I put that twice. So that is what we're looking for. This person has been trying to get a job for 6 years. Whoa. They have not used this resume yet. So let's check to see what's going on with this. That can't be right. So, all right, 20 seconds is on the clock. So let's go. 20 seconds. Let's see what I can find. And go. This is completely irrelevant. Associates. That might not be enough, actually. This should be a bullet point. Engineered Azure Cloud, okay. And Data Lake, good. From the ground up, don't care. Implementing Optimized Medallion. Okay. Time. So, all right, there's a lot here that needs to be deleted. This is a lot of flow. Because the worst part is you actually kind of had a good sentence. Almost. But it's bad. So, I'm confused. First off, your formatting is a little off. Do you only have an associate's? Because I don't know if that's enough to get a data engineer job in general. I think you need I think you do in fact need a bachelor's. I don't know if you can get an associate's and get a data engineer job. Bar none. I don't think you can. I think you need a bachelor's. If you had like 8-10 years of it, that could be used in lieu of that. But I think if you don't need a bachelor, if you don't have a bachelor's, then I don't know if anything else in the resume would matter. I don't think I've seen a data engineering job that it only accepts an associate's. I've seen some software engineer jobs, but not data engineers. Again, maybe I'm missing some, but I think that's going to be a big problem. Now, on to this. I don't care about these certs. Remember, these certs don't matter. I need to see that you've done them, not that you had certs in them. Then we go down here is I built an enterprise data model. Okay, that's fine. But I don't know what analyze complex logistics and workflows. Engineered Azure Cloud Database, okay, and Data Lake, good. From the ground up, don't care. Implementing optimized medallions for Power BI, don't care. Cool. You know what you didn't say? The non-technical reason. Designed normalized dimension modeling for blah, 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 I'm asleep. That has nothing to do with what I need. Developed advanced SQL script. You already said SQL up here. To execute deep data vise, to aggregate. Why is this important that you did that? I don't know. Applied Python scripting in Azure Data. You already mentioned these earlier. Again, this doesn't matter. So, like, if you notice, I don't have enough. Also, you don't need this if you're... Did you just graduate? This resume is actually really confusing me. I'm not sure if they just graduated. I think that's the case. And then none of this matters. Okay, so if you just graduated... Okay, so you just graduated. So this is how I want you to redo this. Okay, I want you to not have all this up here. I want you to just have work history. And again, it should look like this, lowercase, right? And then under that work history, you're going to have this job right here. Okay? And under this, the only bullet point you're going to have, no other bullet point, is the one you have up here in the summary, right? I used a handheld computer to scan, double-check packages so they get delivered to the right place and on time. And dealt with customers. Give me like 2 more words than that. And that is all the things that are going to be there. Because you know what's good about this? Not this, but this right here. Ooh, boy, they love that. 6 years at the same company shows you work at the same place for a while. That is a giant green flag. You don't need to tell me what you did. All you need to tell me is a very brief summary that you did it that has no other keywords. That's fine, because that 6-year tenure nearly looks amazing. And then you don't need the rest of these bullet points. None of the others matter. None of the other bullet points matter. And then I need more, because if you notice, the only thing I saw was Azure Cloud, Power BI, SQL, and Python. And you know what I'm missing? ETL or ELT. I'm missing its equivalent of Azure's. The ability to manage, communicate technical plans to non-technical people, to meet multiple deadlines, big data, Git, the industry alone, and then maybe some Tableau AI or BigQuery or Snow or CI/CD. So I don't know if you can get a job without a bachelor's with this. I'll be honest with you. But even if you had the bachelor's, the problem is I just don't see enough to move you forward, because this only has 4 or 5 things and I need 75% of this. Also, for projects, you don't need to tell me when you completed it, just that you did. So yeah, that's the best I can do for this resume. And I don't like ending it on a sad note, but I think that's the best I can do with this one. But this is probably why you're struggling, is you don't show that you meet the minimum qualifications. So that's all I can do for this one. Thank you very much for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing. I really appreciate it. And to my members who get access to videos a little bit early, thank you very much for supporting me. If you want to be a member, you can join in the link below. And if you want to get your resume reviewed, hop on the live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And I will see you all in the next video. So thank you for watching. Bye.